You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. You're watching USA Global TV and listening on Business Talk Radio. We are thrilled to have you here for our show, which is A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. This program is all about presentations by people on my team coming forward, sharing their time to help make us better by teaching us some of what they know. We have 7 shows each week, and we're so glad that you're here joining us. Our 2 experts today are Mr. Hiett Ives and Ms. Mariska Duprier. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. The gang's all back. Yay, welcome. So, Hiett, I know
we did this last week.
We did.
So we did.
I know in between when we did that and now you've been very busy. Tell us what you've been doing.
I've been going to live trade shows.
Woo!
Oh, yes, it is fantastic. In fact, what I'll be presenting today, some of it was picked up at the show, which happened last Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'd actually gone to it. I was fresh away from it when I did last week's show. I've now had some time to think about it and cogitate on it. But it's really nice to be back into live trade shows.
Fantastic. How was the attendance?
About a third of what it was 2 years ago, but it still had 500 to 600 people there. It was the Human SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management managers, and the Houston chapter is the largest SHRM chapter in the country. So while they had 1,500 2 years ago, they had about 500, 500 to 600. But a really great program.
Was it tied to a convention or was it just a trade show?
No, they were getting professional credits. So there were about 30 different presentations over a 2-day period and I sat in on a couple of them that were really top notch. And they laid out the trade show hall. There were no long rows of 10 by 10 booths. Because there were fewer booths. They did lots of 20 by 20 islands, and they weren't all in a row, and they had 10 by 20s and 10 by 10s and 20 by 20s on those islands. So it filled up the hall better and made it look fuller than it actually was. So
the art of illusion. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, good. We're looking forward to your presentation today. Mariska, what have you been up to since we saw you last week?
Ooh, I have actually had some time to think training, which is really great, just giving yourself the space to use your brain and learning how the brain works, what the normal natural process is that our brain goes through, and a few things to help us along that journey. And I have to say that was quite interesting training, so I really enjoyed it. And I also, on top of that, in addition to that, I also did some mental health first aid, which was also very insightful. So I was a little bit in training mode this week.
Well, fantastic. We can't wait to learn what you know. I didn't ask either of you this backstage, but who's going first today? I think it's Hiett's turn, isn't it?
I'm game.
I think
yes,
I
ma'am.
did last time. So
yeah.
Hiett, it's all you.
All right, Hiett. All right, Hiett, I'm going to spotlight you. And if you would tell us a little bit about yourself and then just go right into the presentation, that would be great. And Mariska and I will go backstage.
Okay, and give me the clock as well, please. I am Hiett Ives. I have a business-to-business marketing company, and relative to trade shows, I work with a trade show leads guaranteed. And what we're going to look at today is the core of any trade show, and that is start with the end in mind. And of course, in so doing, it makes things a whole lot easier. We're going to establish your program and follow the steps, what you do before the show, at the show, and following the show, relative to starting with the end in mind. What are you exhibiting at the event? And I'm going to, trade shows, events. The event is sort of a larger venue, if you will, but same difference. The first step you want to decide, the first step you want to make, or the first step you want to take is decide which of your products and services you are going to exhibit, and which 3 of your products or services. Now you may say, but I've got 6, I've got 8, I've got 10. Use the 80-20 principle. And what is that? 80% of your business, 80% of your profits, 80% of what you do best comes from 20% of what you offer. So if you've got 10 offerings, you want to choose the best 3. And if you are a large enough company, the 3 that are the top in San Antonio are different than the 3 that are tops in California, different from the 3 that are the tops in Chicago, and so on. So I've worked for companies that have 10 product lines and with a wide variety, and I made my regional and local people choose the top 3 for their specific market. And then what are their lead times? Now this goes into follow-up, but every sale, every product or service that you have on the market has more than likely a different time frame. Some may take 6 weeks from first introduction to final sale. Some may take 6 months. Some may take 18 months. You want to put together the follow-up program for each of those 3 at the very beginning. This is very crucial, and we'll see why as we go forward here. Who needs to see these 3 products or services that you are representing? Which members of the whole are you going after specifically? The show that I was at a week ago was the Human Resource Managers show. Now, if you say every human resource manager, well, maybe not. You may specialize in human resources in the medical vertical, or you may specialize in the human resources in the oil and gas vertical. So you want to put together your presentation and your open-ended questions and your collateral material to focus on those specific people, the 20%, because it's the same, in many cases, it's the same thing. 20% of your audience is going to bring in 80% of the business, so you want to identify that 20%. What features and benefits and results are you looking to highlight? Again, figure out who you want to go after, and then what are going to be their hot buttons. I took a client to the Human Resource show, and he had 8 products and services, and I said, I tried to get him down to 3. We got down to 4. However, that was the 4. They flowed very directly, and it was very easy to follow. And we put it together specifically to focus on those top 4 that flowed in order. And what's the most effective way to do this is to, more is less, or less is more. The fewer things you put up on your back wall, the fewer things you focus on, the more focused you're going to be. And they need to be your top of line for that particular market, for that particular audience. Who you really want or need to see isn't there. What do you do in a case like that? Well, who's the best person to go through to get to that person that you can't see? Well, here's the situation. My client had a service that his ideal client was the C-suite, the CEO, CFO, COO, all the top management, and he wanted to be their individual coach. However, you don't get to those people directly. You've got to go through, in many cases, the HR department. So you need to determine what direct products and services that HR director needs that you can provide. And then through him, once you have helped him solve his problems, have him introduce you to your ultimate market, which is the C-suite. It's sort of like a ad specialty company at a trade show. You walk up to that ad specialty company, and they're going to have T-shirts and ball caps and pens and squish balls, and those are all staple items. They make their money on engraved cross pens or etched glass vases. Nobody's going to buy those kind of items unless they've had success in the other areas. So, how do you get in front of them how do you get from and through them to who you really want? Well, you service them and their need and what they need from you, and then they will take you there. 2 examples of this multi-stage sale. The real target is the C-suite executives. Your quickest way there is through the HR director. Make their life easier, and then they will help you get where you need to go. Your real target is the HR manager. Who are the best influencers on him or her? If you're selling a product in the operations side, you want to get some of the operations people working on the HR manager to get you in there to provide them the products and services that they need. Go for the highest quality, low-hanging fruit and work up from there. When you focus on the right people, a whole lot will happen a lot faster. Okay, how do you start the process? Well, once you've decided the 3 things that you're going to do, then you sell the sizzle in advance of the event. You make your product, your service, an exclusive opportunity. You set appointments to include your key executives and perhaps the key executives and decision makers of the companies that you are going after. This is where you use social media in advance of the show to, hey, here's the place to be to find out the latest and greatest about X. Or when was the last time, how many times have you had a problem with Y? Come see us for the right solution. So you build what you are going to have there in advance. Use social media to establish the buzz. Strategically place and use social media messages in advance of and during the event. One of the companies at the Human Resources show had a bingo game, and you went to their booth and you got your bingo card, and then they got your text message number, and every 15 to 20 minutes for 2 days of the show, they piped out one of these squares which has a brief message on the products and services that they're offering. post to diversity job boards, easy to manage hiring process. And every time somebody had a bingo and brought it back, they rang a bell and everybody shouted bingo. Hall was small enough that every time that happened, everybody heard it. Also, another client had a QR code that, in lieu of giving people literature that is more than likely going to go in a circular file, we allowed them to copy the QR code, which said, send it to me now, send it to me 2 days from now, send me this specific piece of literature, this specific follow-up material. So it got them involved in asking what they wanted and when they wanted it. Make your booth a must-see and return too often destination. Of course, that's what the company with the bingo, and you can do other things like that. Let your audience know that you're having fun. If they see you're having fun, well, let's become a part of that group. Be careful with what you give away. All of these companies at this HR show, I say all, a very large percentage of them were giving away squish balls, and some were cars, scary faces, gorillas, footballs, all sorts of stuff. And I got quite a few of them. And that was on Tuesday and Wednesday. And on Sunday, my 2-year-old grandson came over. And guess what he got? What you want to do, folks, is give away something that is relevant to your product and service. I took to the Houston Bar Association, I took a legal temporary service, and I said, your giveaway is going to be 1 week's free legal temp service. They said, what? Yeah, a whole week? You can't give away 1 week's free legal temp service. Day 3 of the show, the little old man shuffled up, put his card in the box and shuffled off. Well, he was Mr. Botch of Baker Botch, which at the time was one of the largest legal firms in Houston. Now, the company was announced that won it, but then 17 other companies got called, 17 other law firms, and we're told, well, you didn't win the first prize, but remember that captain's chair that was there that had the company name on the back of it? That was our second prize, and you won that. When can I bring that over to you? They gave away 17 second prizes and got into 17 law offices that they wouldn't have got into otherwise. So this actually enhances the value of your products or services, and it focuses on the qualified prospects. You want to pre-establish your CRM program, and this is where you start at the very beginning. When it's different strokes for different folks, be sure you have your bases covered before you go to the show. If the way you would follow up with C-suite people is different than you follow up with managers, is different than you follow up with operations people, put together a CRM program for each of them so that when you get their card, it goes into the right program and they immediately get followed up on. One of the things you can do just before the show is when you finish setting up your booth and you're ready to leave, you take a selfie. Hi, thanks for stopping by the booth. Great visiting with you. Look forward to getting together with you real soon. And you put that in your file, and after every good prospect leaves the booth, you send that to him or her. Okay. So you establish the program. Here's the ways it goes. Establish the program in advance. Execute the program at the event and follow up per your CRM program after it's all over. You can also go to Amazon and get my book on 88 successful event strategies. You can also go to hiatus.com and be a part of that 8 Not Right Use and Abuse of the English language. And with that, I will return control a few seconds over to Dr. Jacalyn. All yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Hiett. Well done. Well done. I love the thing about what you're giving out, the squishy balls, how they have a lot of second, third, and fourth uses, right? Depending on who you give them to. Yeah, that was a great overview. Mariska, what comments do you have for Hiett?
I love the fact that giving away something, you need to actually put some thought into what it is that you're giving away, and having something that has a big value, but having that second prize that doesn't necessarily have as big a value, but it still keeps you in contact with your prospective clients. That I thought was a really, really great tip.
The biggest giveaway I ever had, I took British Airways to the Offshore Technology Conference, and this was back in the day when the Concorde was still flying. And the giveaway was upgrade to Concorde. So you already had to have a BA flight ticket. We only had 125 leads in 4 days, but the average number of international flights for those 25 leads was 17 flights each annually.
Wow.
Do you think BA liked the database that I got them?
Oh, yes.
Yes, yep. Absolutely. And I just want our audience to know that Hiett has done a whole series of presentations on trade shows. So please go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, and you can find them all there under the playlist A Better You. All right, Hiett, thank you so much. Mariska, it's your turn, but we're going to take a quick break for a commercial. And when we come back, then we will come right to you. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back. We've done a little shuffling here on the stage, but you're watching USA Global TV or you're listening on Business Talk Radio. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find all of our content. You can see it there right next to me, USA Global TV. In our first segment, Mr. Hiett Ives, who has recently returned from an in-person trade show with his clients, provided us with a lot of phenomenal information. He's been doing a series about trade show and how you can really generate leads and take advantage of the fact that you've invested this money to go to the event. And some people, they go to trade shows, they hang out at a booth, they talk to a few people, they throw around some balls, and they just really kind of waste their time. But Hiett's giving us a really valuable perspective of how you can use that trade show, the investment that you made, use it to your advantage to generate leads and to earn income, get business, meet clients, network, all the great things. So thank you, Hiett. All right, Mariska, we're on to you. So I'm going to put Hiett and I backstage, and we will, let's see, give you your deck, and I'll give you the timer, and we'll be back. Have a great lesson.
Okay. There you go. I'm Mariska Dupree, and I am a transition and career coach for people that move from specialist to leadership positions and those within the leadership positions, helping them improve their skills. Now, I thought about the whole body-mind within our mindset series, especially considering there is still quite a few people that is within lockdown periods or periods where they need to take a little bit more note of what is going on for them within their body and how this actually affects us. So we're going to understand the body-mind a little bit more today. But first, what we will be looking at is what shows up for us, and then how this works and where we can use this within our daily life, and maybe even make it a little bit easier for us when situations come up that feel a bit niggly. So show me what you've got. We are going to start with you guys first, and I want you to think of a time when you were really, really relaxed, right? Thinking of that time, notice how you are holding your body right now. You feel that you're relaxed, your shoulders might be down a little bit. There's just a calmness in the body. So this is what happens with our body-mind. Our body picks up on what we just thought. Now, what I want you to try and do is scrunch your shoulders up to your ears, right? Like in a position when you you may be a bit stressed or a bit worried. So sort of make your body a bit of a ball and scrunching your shoulders up. And then I want you just to think, what's the thing that comes in mind when you have your body like this? What's an image that you have in mind? So for me, that something that came up was a period during my studies when I was really under pressure and I needed to get a whole bunch of work done. And it didn't feel like I have enough time. And I had way too much reading and writing to do. And I can actually remember having my body in this position. So there, the body's action, just scrunching up my shoulders, actually got my mind into that same position that I was when I was studying. So this is how the body and the mind works together. So this is what just happened, right? The body and the mind was interacting. So we can either have the mind get the body into an action or the body get the mind into an action. So what I want you to think about is when you go for a walk or a run or you play, what happens? I mean, even when we dance, if we're in a really, really bad mood and we start just dancing, just getting up and dancing, I can promise you it will be less than a minute and you'll feel better. Dancing, just moving your body around, there's no way you can stay in a bad mood. And this has actually been proved by science too. I mean, there's a lot of doctors that would prescribe exercise for patients that might have been in a had an operation, or they might have some depression or anxiety that's coming up for them. Exercise is great. And the reason exercise is great is because we get our body moving, we're doing something with it that actually has memories within the body. That's fun, right? I mean, playing with your dog, we can then learn our body, the old dog, new tricks. So how can we use this? In our daily life, it might be that we have a period of time where we feel really anxious or we are under pressure. It might be that we feel depressed and we don't really want to do anything. Now, just going into that feeling and staying into that feeling will really keep us there, and it would actually make it worse. Because of the feeling that we're feeling, we stay in the huddled position, and because of the huddled position, you stay in the feeling. So when you notice that something like that is happening, get up and go for a walk. Put some of your favorite music on, and dance. Take a couple of deep breaths. Whatever it is for you to get you to do something other than what you're doing at the moment. So this is all different areas where we can use it. Within the workplace, places where we can use it within the workplace is maybe we have a very important meeting coming up, or we might have a conversation with a boss, or we might have a presentation that we need to give, and we can already feel our body doing weird things and sort of going into that position. And then our mind, of course, follows suit. So instead of doing that, see whether you can, I mean, even if you put your earpods on and you go to the restroom and have a little jig and then go out and do your meeting, you will feel so much better for it. So one of the things that I love to also think around when we think about our body-mind is ways that we can incorporate practice in order for us to help our body and our mind have new pathways so that we can connect new things to our body in order for us to stay in those emotions and in that mood for longer periods, especially the ones that we really want to be in. So our body needs a little bit of a recalibration. And so does our mind, because the two is so interconnected. So some of the things that we can do to help us with this is there is mindfulness practices that we can utilize. There is meditation that you can do. As I mentioned, exercise works really, really well for this. And it doesn't need to be strenuous exercise, go and run for kilometers on end. It can be whatever exercise it is that is right for you. So whether that is going for a short 5-minute walk, and you don't have to race down the road, you can go for a really, really relaxed walk at the pace that suits you, or playing with your dog or cat, or even with the kids. Taking a break, just getting out in nature and walking around, literally smelling the roses, noticing all the scents around you. All of these things is ways for us to help our body and our mind get into a position where we are calm, relaxed, and we actually in control of what we want to be feeling. So this also brings us to our wee little questions. And the questions, the experimentation questions that I would love you guys to think about within the next week is just noticing what mood am I in, or what emotions am I experiencing at the moment? What's my body doing, right? Am I having my shoulders scrunched up? Am I relaxed? Has my shoulders down and relaxed? What's going on for me at this very, very moment? Because when we notice what is going on, we can change it. But when we don't notice what's going on, we can't change it. So the next step would be, what can I do with my body to improve, if you want to improve or change my mood, or increase it? So if you are in a mood that you want to have more of, so you're already in a good mood, you're already having fun, and you want to increase that and have that even more. So what is it that I can do with my body to either change it or increase it? And this might be that it is something that you want to do that is just slow. So you're just going to take a couple of deep breaths and become present. And that's it, right? This does not need to be something difficult, and it does not need to be something that necessarily takes you out into the wild. It can literally be as easy as just noticing your breathing, because this too will actually start helping to change the mood or the feeling that you are in, because it makes us more aware of where we're at and what we're doing. And then, of course, there's the choice, right? So if I'm just going to stay in what I am, then I'm not really changing anything, but I'm still choosing. I'm choosing to do what I am doing at the moment. Or I can choose to change it, to improve it, to make more of it. And that is always my choice. So I want you to really think about the fact that you are choosing how and what you are feeling. We are doing this at every moment of every day. We're choosing it. and we can change it. If we don't like it, change it. You now have a couple of tools in order for you to help change that. So I would love to hear from you guys how your experiments are going and how you're enjoying changing those moods when they're in places that is not so much fun. This, of course, is always also great exercises for when we feel a little bit stressed or worried, anxious, maybe a little bit depressed. All of these things help us to move ourselves out of those and into feelings and opportunities that we can feel more in control. And that is the end of my lesson today.
Hiett, you're on mute. Mariska, nice job. Very well done. I love that slide with and I love the wee little questions because I shared with Hiett right before we began that something happened today and I was letting it build up. And so I just tried to do what you said and I feel better. Let it go. And I wasn't dancing around, but I might do that later too. Hiett, what are your thoughts?
I have a gazebo in my garden, and it has vines growing on it. And when I'm really needing to get away from it all, I go out and control where the vines are growing. And if things are really bad, I do a tapping meditation. I will sit in that gazebo, and I've got a myriad of tapping, one of which is relieving negative thoughts that you have been imbued with from others. And I have spent several evenings using that very tapping meditation before I relax for the rest of the evening.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yes.
Well done, Hiett.
Thank you.
See, that's why Hiett is also always so serene when we see him.
Me, serene? What? Serene?
Oh, nice work, both of you. I really enjoyed both of your presentations, and I thank you always for your professionalism and for showing up here and just giving really valuable information to me and to our audience, whether they're watching live or on the replay. So I'm going to spotlight each of you. I'm going to start with Mariska. She's at the top. And show your banner. What's the best way for people to reach you, and who should contact you?
So the best way for people to reach me is on my email. And my email address is mariska@journeytodiscover.com. So I will spell that for you guys. It's MARISKA@JOURNEY2. It's the number 2. Discover, DISCOVER.com. And people that can contact me is anybody that would love some training or coaching within the specialist field, moving into leadership, or within the leadership field that want to upskill themselves. And that is me.
Thank you, Mariska. Mr. Hiett Ives, who should contact you, and what is the value, what are the services that you can provide to them?
2 areas. One, those that are looking for business-to-business trade shows that they are doing and want to do better. You can get a hold of me to get a hold of 88 Successful Event Strategies at Amazon.com. You can reach me at Hiett, Hiett, at Hiett Ives, HIETTIVES.com, and get a hold of me at 832-372-6900, 832-372-6900. That's the trade show world, and for those of you that want some help in the wonderful world of the English language, that ain't not right, the use and abuse of the English language. I do a weekly Tuesday morning missive on that a lot of people have fun with, and you can get your very own copy by going to my website.
All right. Thank you, Hiett. So much fun seeing both of you. And I wish you a beautiful evening and look forward to your next presentation.
And
thank you again.
Same for you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching our shows today. I want to close out doing something a little different, just sharing something a little bit personal that I'm about to embark in. And if you follow me on social media, you're probably getting sick of it, but it's only just beginning. And that is this challenge that I'm doing, 75 Hard, a tactical guide to winning the war with yourself. I am not a paid spokesperson. No one's given me permission or said I should talk about this or not talk about it. But I heard some people in Clubhouse Breakfast of Champions talking about this amazing challenge. And of course, I love a challenge. So I decided to go all in. I bought the book. I downloaded the app. And so what is it? And why am I sharing it with you? So starting on Sunday, it's 75 days that will really test me physically and mentally. And so the things that you have to do are 5 critical tasks. 1, choose a diet and commit to it. The diet can be anything except certain things are not allowed, like alcohol. 2, drink a gallon of water a day. 3, work out twice a day for 45 minutes in each session. One of the sessions must be outside. It doesn't matter what the weather is, raining, snowing, tornado. He did say the author did say that his attorney advised that if there's a tornado, you may want to think twice, but wait till it passes. 4, each day read 10 pages of a nonfiction entrepreneurship personal development book. And 5, take a daily progress picture. So this is what I will be doing for 75 days to test how tough I am mentally and physically. And I already started 5 days ago with everything except giving up my lovely Chardonnay, which I love. That will be the hard part for me. So if you want to join me in this journey, I've started a Facebook group called 75 Hard, and you can get the book, not get the book. You can Google it. And again, I'm not a paid spokesperson. I actually bought the book. I bought the app, and I just would like to have some people join me. I have one person from Dubai, Julie Lewis, who is, she swam the English Channel, and she's done all kinds of amazing things. So she is joining me from Dubai with this incredible task. But it's going to be a change of life. And apparently, we all as people, we make excuses. Well, I can't do it now because I have this coming up, or it's the summer, and oh, it's the winter. It's always an excuse. So I just decided I'm starting it. I've planned out what I'm going to do, because you have to really strategize with your time, right? If you have to work out 45 minutes twice a day, and by the way, it can't be combined, because I could easily work out 2 hours in a row. That would be no big deal. But it has to be 2 separate times, and you have to drink a gallon of water. This is a lot of water, folks, and you will be running to the bathroom. So you have to plan all of that out. So it's all to test how strong you are up here. And if you miss any of it, for example, the author talks about if you don't take a picture of yourself one day, you have to start all over again. So that's what I'll be doing at the same time I'm doing all of this. So wish me well, and thank you again to everyone for being here. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We've got a jam-packed schedule, starting with Life's Amazing Journey, and then we have shows on the hour almost every hour. So I thank you, Hiett. I thank you, Mariska, and I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow when we welcome back some wonderful guests that have been here and some new guests. Thank you again. Have a good evening or a good morning.